We are back on Fight News Now Live, and it is our favorite segment of the show. It is time to play the game show that is creating quite the controversy from coast to coast. It's time for the 3 magic words, and they go a little something like this.
Wheel of Fighting!
This is where we spin the wheel. It lands on a random topic, and we're going to chat about it, so let us spin that wheel. Ooh. Guys, I think it's going to be a hot topic today.
I have no idea what these topics are.
Fedor.
All right, well, we've got the first announcements for this year's Hall of Fame class. Fedor Emelianenko is not part of the Hall of Fame class, but certainly there seems to be a push towards more of an all-encompassing Hall of Fame rather than just a UFC-specific one. I think Bas Rutten, with 2 UFC fights, represents that this year. Do you go so far as to see Fedor at one point being inducted into this UFC Hall of Fame, despite no fights inside of the octagon?
I know it's the UFC Hall of Fame, but Zuffa ended up buying Pride and they ended up buying Strikeforce, 2 organizations that Fedor was a part of. And I think you talk to many mixed martial arts fans and fighters that talk about who the greatest fighter of all time, and a lot of them will say Fedor. Some of the things he was able to do inside of the ring was magical. Hongman Choi, this 7-foot Goliath, he tapped this guy out. He beat Minotauro a couple of times. His fight with Krokop was sensational.
That fight in 2005, I mean, that was the biggest heavyweight fight in MMA history up until that point.
And also his comeback after Kevin Randleman slammed him on his head, so to speak. He comes back and submits the former UFC heavyweight champion.
Robin, does he go in?
No,
Wow.
I'm sorry, he can't. He didn't fight in the UFC. I mean, what are we going to add, everybody? You know, how long
then
until John Ramdeen's in the UFC Hall of Fame? Listen, Fedor had the greatest timing in history on his right hand. That was his great weapon. Nobody has had better timing on one KO power shot than Fedor. But he is not one of the greats, and I've said that before, and I've literally received email death threats. Someone wanted to cut me. I'm sorry, Fedor is one of the greats, but he is not one of the greatest of all time. He did have an incredible weapon, an incredible run, an incredible mythology. He's a beloved fighter. I love Fedor. I love every one of his fights, but he is not the greatest of all time, and he never fought in the UFC.
Took out to Minotauro, who was a UFC champion, and Andrei Arlovski, who was a UFC heavyweight champion. He's one of the greatest of all time.
All right, I say he goes in, but Kazushi Sakuraba goes in first if you're inducting Pride.
Yeah, everybody's going to get in the Hall of Fame.
Let's spin the wheel as Robin gains his composure. I thought I saw the word mullets on one of them. I really hope it lands on that because Randy can speak to it. Oh, I was right. What a call.
You're right. Okay.
Everyone at home is just thinking that, this is so clever. We don't know any of this.
We honestly
we
have
do
no
not
idea
have
what's going to come up.
our ducks in a row at all during this.
Roy Nelson.
I don't even know what this means, so you guys take it.
We got to go with Roy Nelson, probably the greatest mullet in mixed martial arts. Just the whole. Yeah, and there you see a picture of Roy Nelson. I think one of the reasons why
Mike
Lyle, perfect. The fact is,
this is not making a strong case for fighters, especially later in their careers.
Look at it's pro wrestling. Harold Howard. That's what it comes down to. This crazy. Oh my.
John Ramdeen,
waiting for that
ladies and gentlemen.
UFC Hall of Famer, according to Robin Black.
Future Hall of Famer John Ramdeen. Listen, I got the dumbest hair in the mixed martial arts world, so I have no comment on any of this.
Wow. I just want everyone to have that picture sunk into them. John Ramdeen.
Wow.
You survived the mean streets.
Yeah, I survived.
With that hair.
Well, you sported that like crazy.
Yeah.
You should.
I was going down the Harold Howard the route. So
did you play bass in Warrant? No, you did not. All right. This is going to be a fun night.
There's nothing to follow that particular chat. We want you to tune in each and every Wednesday night. It's Fight News Now at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And remember, when we approach fights, we always believe in the buddy system.